So it's paused right now. That's the Netflix episode of Dahmer. So I heard this was actually a really interesting video series to watch on Netflix. It's got more watch time than Squid Games. Crazy. I don't know much about it, so I'm just gonna react to it. Apparently, Dahmer, whatever. You guys probably already know about it, so I'm just reacting to it. What I'm seeing right now, he's at the club, obviously about to try to get another guy. The thing that because the gay community has also tried to embrace me a lot. A lot of guys try to hit on me. They try to convert me or some shit like that. I'm just being 100 with it. Never touched God. Don't like that shit. That's just not me. But I attempt to be friends sometimes. But it's just like, man, a lot of the way, at least from my experience, man, it's just like a lot of gay guys are just fucking horny, man. They're guys. They're like guys. So I understand where girls come from and why they feel the way that they feel and the way they view guys. Is because, goddamn, even if the gay guys are like this, goddamn, I can't imagine what it's like to a woman. And so I digress. That's for an entirely different subject. But for gay guys being around them, it's like you can. If I feel like at any moment you could just go have sex with a guy, like when it comes to gay guys, like they're just always horny or always ready or willing, whatever, at any moment, any time, and let's let you be white. Let me say that real quick. White people can do anything that they fucking want to. I'm so serious. Dahmer, the way his face is looking, I know for me sometimes when I'm in like a black club, the song comes on, and I just want to dance, I don't put myself out there. You know why? And it's probably because of me, and that's something I got to stop for myself because I feel insecure. I feel like as a black guy, you're expected to know how to dance. You're expected to know how to play basketball. You're expected to do all these things because you're black or whatever. And so society puts so much, black people put so much more pressure on other black people to be good, to be acceptable. But when you're white or you're from any other race, you can be mediocre at best and just attempt, barely even put any effort into it, and people are gonna love it. They're gonna love you. That's exactly what he's doing right now. He's on the dance floor. He knows exactly what the fuck to do. He'll just take a little bit of a drink, do a couple little moves, probably do something he's seen on BT or some shit like that, TikTok or whatever was popping. You know what I mean? He just got to do a little couple moves and then bam, he's gonna get the black appreciation. That's all that they got to do. It's all white people, any other race of people got to do. And Jeffrey Dahmer is someone who acknowledges and knows the presence. He knows what he can do and what he can get away with. The power he has against black people and other races of people as a white person. When you look at those movies, we were talking about slaves, you can pretty much do whatever you want. Go back, the further back in history we get, further back in time we go, before cameras, before smartphones, before everyone had this, the further back we go, the color of your skin dictated the amount of power you had and the things you can get away with. In America, the further back we go back in time, the more power you have as a white person. You still have a tremendous amount of power as a white person. I say person because you can be black, a male or female, and you have a tremendous amount of power. Black men, and arguably, are still the most undefended, people here. We want to talk about black women. We said they're the most vulnerable. The fuck they are. The fuck they are. Are you kidding me? The fuck they are. Woman in general is higher than any other man. Black woman, whatever race of man that you could think of in any country, if you could think of them as being on the lowest of vulnerability, a woman in America at least, right? If you talk about other countries, whatever, but if you in America, you could be a woman and you are the highest than any other regular guy. And what I mean in terms of police, in terms of society coming to your aid, if you're crying, you're screaming for help as a man, God damn it, you'd be lucky for someone to come out and help you. If you're a woman, any kind of woman, any race of woman, and you're screaming, crying for help, more than likely a bunch of guys are going to come around and find out what the fuck is going on, right? They're going to come help you out. This is just ingrained in the culture. Jeffrey Dahmer understood this, and he was extremely conscious. He is simply someone who took advantage of what his white privilege and did what he wanted. That's what he wanted to do. He could get away with it. People do it nowadays. Lots of people do it nowadays. DJ Academics actually just gave an account of a white girl that liked black guys of doing this. What is doing this I'm talking about? I'm talking about using your white privilege to your advantage to do whatever you want. And then get out of a mess whenever you've accidentally created it. When you've accidentally created a mess, you just say a couple little things, use your white card, flash the white card, they'll clean it up. Oh, you get passed. Bam. You're good to go. That's exactly what it is. Now I'm gonna get back into the video. I'm gonna see what else is gonna happen in this show, you guys. Okay, so he tried to get Tracy. They're at the police station right now. Tracy got the police, called him back. Just off the top of my head, you guys, just what I'm thinking about. This is not fully fleshed out thoughts, but one thing that I did think about was how that woman, the neighbor, she said she called a million times and nobody did anything. Now, yeah, that happens a lot, right? We'll hear about people talking about in the black communities how the cops would just never come, right? And I think what's interesting about this is that obviously we're seeing you did this to our people. This is our community. The black community, black people have been dying. But I think what's interesting and what I got from this was the woman was like, I've been trying to tell y'all, and so it's something that I thought it was like, man, the woman's voice is so powerful. That's what this show is trying to say. It's like, oh, the woman's voice is powerful. We've been trying to talk to y'all forever. Like, you should listen to women. Women are telling you the truth. If you listen to women, you could avoid mass murders like Jeffrey Dahmer's. If you just listen to women, and obviously I'm hoping, right, that this is not what it should be like. That's not what they're trying to go for. But this is just something I just thought of. It just kind of came to my mind a little bit. I think overall, though, the biggest problem is that as black people, you've got to kind of self-govern yourself. There's several things that you've got to do, man. Several things that I've learned, coming from those type of situations where, you in the hood is you gotta realize no one is there to help you for the most part. And not only that, but you also gotta acknowledge that people from other races also are very aware of their position and status in society. Now, a lot of the stuff that I'm saying on this video and a lot of stuff that I kind of talk about is unpopular. That's why my channel is called Unpopular Opinions. But I try to deal in facts. I try to deal in reality. This is probably a bit too sober of like videos and topics. I could definitely put a little bit more entertainment and a lot more lightheartedness into all of this stuff that I'm talking about. But before I do that, I definitely want to sprinkle in a lot of the facts. Dry, hard, straight to the punch, like a punch to the face. It's gonna be very, it's gonna be like that because it's extremely important to kind of talk about these things. You gotta have a blend of escapism as well as reality. And so when you're online looking at all this stuff with people just talking about shit that don't really matter, talking about bullshit, I think that this is something that I'm hoping, at least, I'm attempting to become a breath of fresh air. Let me wake up, you guys. It's like 2 p.m. and I'm still trying to like get myself together, and it's probably because, let's just be honest, probably because all this damn weed I've been smoking, you guys. I done bought a crazy amount, and so, because I'm planning on being in this house for a long time. I've been in this motherfucker for a long ass time, working hard, and the fruits of my labor. I just thought about it. I'm just like, man, I'm going off topic. I'm getting off topic, but anyways, that's what I'm thinking so far, right? Jeffrey Dahmer's coming in. I'm glad the first episode is them starting off with him going to jail. I think this would have absolutely turned myself off as well as many other people had the first person that we got introduced to got killed by Jeffrey Dahmer. That would not have been a good way to get into the movie. I think that this right here, starting it off, is interesting. I got about 12 minutes left into the video, so I'll go ahead and finish watching the video. Let's get into it.
stories you'd like to tell us? When he was young, I think he was 4, he had a hernia operation. And he was never the same after that. And I don't know if there was brain damage, from too much anesthesia. It's haunted me.
A hernia operation. Do you think that it might have, what, damaged him?
Could you tell me a little bit about what he did with this person?
One thing that people said about this show was that the acting was really good, and we could definitely see that the acting is very good. I want to talk about the dad real quick, because something that is really interesting is that we tend to look at the older generation, people that were born in like the 70s, 50s, 60s, 70s. A lot of people used to look at them like they were slow, and that's just not it, man. Like, I think they were very intelligent, but I think that overall, there was a pivot in history in the quality of lives where people were allowed. I guess what I'm trying to get at is the lack of mass murderers, the serial killers from what was known as the greatest generation ever, or the baby boomers, right? And it's not to say that there weren't. Obviously, they were. Jeffrey Dahmer is one of those people. But I mean, even quite before then. And the reason why I think is because I think life was so fucking hard back then that there just wasn't a lot to, like, you didn't have the opportunity to have these fucking desires. The average person didn't have. The only people, like, if you go back into history, go back into like Game of Thrones and shit like that, the only people that were really allowed for the most part to live out their fucking deviant fantasies were the rich and the noble, right? And it's kind of the same way it is today. Now, obviously there are people that are less fortunate that are still crazy motherfuckers, but I just feel like because of society nowadays, like, I look at myself, so many other people are able to make hundreds of thousands of dollars from the comfort of their fucking home. That's not normal. You know what I'm saying? That was not a normal thing. People had to go out into the fields. My great-grandmother had to go out in the fields as a kid and work full, long, fucking adult construction worker man days. As a kid, a woman, a girl, you know what I mean? And so they had more shit to really think about and focus on. But I feel like when the 50s, 60s, 70s and shit that came around, after the wars and all that, America, we got the boom. We had the money. We were able to do shit. And I just think that one of the reasons why, like, the father, Jeffrey Dahmer's father, is so kind of like, what the fuck? This is a thing? My son is like this? How? What? It's because, I mean, he's so focused on his life. He's got a marriage. He's got the, you know what I mean? Look at the way that people, men, YouTube, everyone, girls too, talk about married life, marriage, traditional values. Those things suck. People don't want to uphold those. And people that say that they do want to uphold it, no, they still want to bastardize it and turn it into what they view of it as. The way that, like, marriage and relationships, life as it once was is no longer. So it's just, I guess maybe unneeded, but it's just something interesting to kind of talk about and think about. Like, it's something I think about the older generation is that we're just different. We have to be different. They're different, They know what legit hard work is. We know what hard work is, but it's in a different way. You know what I mean? So, this is what I think about that. Wow. This is a good show. This is a really good show. This is a good show. I had a possum. A possum got killed at the entrance of my apartments, right? I didn't even know. I've been smelling something. I've been smelling something over here for a while, you guys. And There's a skunk that's actually over here too. Yeah, so I'll say that. I mean, there's a skunk somewhere over here. He lives over here. I've seen it multiple times, so that could account for it as well. However, there was a stench, right, that didn't smell quite like the skunk did. Still smelled foul, but I pulled up into my apartments one day. I work from home, so I don't leave my house often. I don't. So I came in, and then I noticed there was a carcass of the possum just sitting on the sidewalk, like just like close to the street, but on the sidewalk, right? Not too close to the apartment complex at all, but it was close enough to the apartment complex, right, near the street. And my apartment is probably a good 700, maybe 1,000 feet away from the entrance, and I can still smell that possum, the rotting smell of a possum. I smelled that smell for a good week. Just one. It was just one body of a possum. Can you imagine the decomposing body of a human? A full human? Multiple human bodies? I'm 1,000 feet away. Now, granted, I could only smell it when I came outside, right? And it's like a smell. It's just like, like something's not quite right. Something, I don't like it. It doesn't smell good. Doesn't smell right. Something's not right. Something's not up over here, right? Like it could be a skunk, something dead, some feces, something. Something stinks. Turned out to be a possum. Dead possum. So I'll say that about that. The next thing, can you imagine being towards the last quarter of your life, right? Typically. Those 30 years, 40 years, those hard years, you see that he divorced his wife, right? He was divorced with his wife. All of those years, because he was putting his child first. He was trying to put his relationship first. He was doing everything that he could. He made sacrifices against his own personal life in order to help his son out, in order to help his family out. They ended up getting divorced just for Jeff Dahmer, the son, his pride and joy that he created with another woman, his wife, the woman he loved, right? Go down in history as one of the worst serial killers ever. Not even just that, but like he crashed out. Boy's a murderer. Killed multiple people. Let alone him being a homosexual, right? You see he didn't like that, right? We're in a new age, right? People could be homosexual now, it's accepted or whatever. Back then, that wasn't a thing, you didn't want that to happen. I don't want a homosexual son. Like, I'll just be honest, I don't. If that's how it ends up, I mean, fuck it. I love him. All the same, I just wouldn't, there's not much we can relate to. We're just going to have to be honest about that, right? His father didn't like it, but that's, you can live with it. He took the life of other humans, other families, killed them grotesquely, terribly. A human head? What the fuck? Come on, man. The way that the actor just portrayed all of that right there, man, fascinating. Fantastic. Fantastic, you guys. Wow. Not bad. Not bad. Not a bad show. Yeah, that's not bad. I'll watch a little bit more of it. That's episode 1.